Hello everybody, I am cruising behind a police officer, kind of, one car away. It's gonna be great. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing great, and look at this person, he's probably looking at me, he's like, what the crap is going on? Oh, nope, he's just looking at the cop. It's great when the cops are around, nobody cares about what you're doing. Alright, so I'm going to Cool. I need to go to Cool more so I can learn how to speak. And we're going to debate class. The class that I actually ended up forgetting, and I had to go to the library, and if you haven't seen that video, it's about me being late or something like that. And I get to watch people talk about recess, and I talked to one of the people yesterday and found out he hasn't even started on his debate, and so it's going to be kind of embarrassing watching them debate about something they probably don't know anything about. So in the mornings my throat gets all like, clobbery. But anyway, so when I go out to these canyons, and I'll show you guys the canyons when it's summertime. I miss summer so much. It's all gloomy, and it's like February right now, and everything's dead and dry, and I'll go out there for probably like all day, and in the heat and stuff like that. And so when I get back home, I'm terribly thirsty, and I open the fridge, and there's all array of options that I could choose from. I could quench my thirst with soda, quench my thirst with milk, even though I'm lactose intolerant, and that would be a problem. I'm gonna actually pass this. Oh no! See here, the police officer is gonna see. I'm gonna. So many words just came out of my mouth. I'm gonna bring my camera a little bit lower now. So many options, or I can have water. And so if I were to choose one of the other options and think to myself, oh, I'll have water afterward, I may drink the soda or the apple juice or something, but then find out that I've been satisfied, that I don't need the water, and so I just move along and not drink any water. But then I'll end up being dehydrated like the next day and suffer the consequences of that. So what does that have to do with anything of the title? Well, I have to say the most important decision that you'll ever make are the decisions that you're at your most lowest point. Yeah. Because when you start making that, depending on what decision you make when you're at this lowest moment, and then I don't mean just physically like thirsty or hungry, but that could be it too, but like depressed or angry, or things are just not going the way you like, or other just factors in your life, and when you're hitting this lowest moment and you choose something to satisfy or push yourself from that low moment, and you end up choosing the soda, what you're doing is training your mind to rely on this other thing to satisfy yourself and to build yourself up. But then, like how if you were to have soda or all these other things except water, the next day, you start feeling dehydrated and sick. And so the problem is that years later, when you start making these decisions, you start to feel the consequences of not choosing those things that were actually good for you, and end up, suffering because of that. You'll end up hurting yourself and hurting the people around you, which is never good. So when you're at that critical moment in your life where you could choose one way or the other, you have to get yourself to believe that even though water's bland, it's what's good for you, and things like that. And so it's really easy when your mind is weak to choose the things that can quickly satisfy, because, well, who wants to stay in that funk for too long? And so that's why, drugs and other things can be so prevalent. But it's not just drugs that I'm talking about. It's also like dishonesty and just things like that, where it starts to chip at your character and all that wonderful stuff. So if you find yourself doing that, stop. It's not too late. If you just decide to choose water, or not water, like choose soda once, it's not like it's going to make or break your life. But, and I'm meaning metaphorically, soda or water, you know what I really mean, like those good decisions. If you make one of those bad decisions once, it's not going to deter you so bad where you can't turn back. It's the process and it's the training of your mind. And then now you have 10 years under your belt of choosing this other way of I guess relying on something that you shouldn't have, and you end up having these problems. Anyways, I'm cycling like any INTP does, and so hope y'all are doing well. I'll see you guys in another video or another life. You never know. Maybe you do know. Who knows? All right, see ya.